2 minutes to play in Green Bay. Miami 20, Packers 13. A 4th and 7 for the Packers at the 29-yard line. Shotgun, Rodgers. Steps, throws, first down. Greg Jennings, and Jennings breaking a tackle. Brought down inside the 10. They needed 7, and they were able to get 20.
And the smart thing is they went to their biggest threat. Greg Jennings with Jermichael Finley out. Rodgers with great protection that time. Jennings gets inside Vontae Davis, and he ain't done yet. Inside the 10. And now the Packers can work the clock with 3 timeouts and make sure they get in the end zone.
Rodgers over 300 yards passing. 1st and goal for Green Bay. Packers trail by 7. Rush coming. Rodgers. He tried to go airborne, and Rodgers is brought down at the 2-yard line by Jason Allen.
If I'm Miami right now, I'm calling timeout. They're 1 yard away, the Packers are, from tying this game up with a touchdown and a conversion. Great effort by Rodgers right there, trying to split the tacklers. Donald Driver trying to pull his pal into the end zone.
Aaron Rodgers, question mark early in the week whether he would be able to even play today because of the concussion he suffered against Washington. Right now he's trying to lead the Packers to a game-tying touchdown. 34 seconds left. And a timeout call. Packers facing a 2nd and goal, just shy of the 1-yard line. Well, a few weeks ago, Miami, big goal line stand against Minnesota. The Vikings on a 4th and 1 at the 1-yard line, just over 2 minutes left. Adrian Peterson stopped by Carlos Dansby, and Miami got the win. One of their 2 road victories in Minnesota, in Buffalo. They're yet to win at home with losses to New York and to New England.
And that was on the road in Minneapolis. Adrian Peterson, and they stopped him cold.
2nd and goal for Green Bay. Sellout crowd here at Lambeau. TJ Lang in as an extra offensive lineman. Inside handoff, it's Kuhn. And Kuhn comes up short. It'll be 3rd and goal with 28 seconds left and the clock is moving. Carlos Dansby in on that stop.
Timeout, yeah. Packers have got to call timeout here.
They do, with 22 seconds left on the clock. 3rd and goal coming up for Rodgers and the Packers.
You know, they hand the ball off to Kuhn, who's lined up as the fullback. And I'd rather give it to the tailback for obvious reasons in the I formation there. Use your fullback as a blocker. Let your tailback pick his way or go over the top. Kind of like old Sam Bam Cunningham used to do for the USC Trojans and the New England Patriots. And when you give the ball to the up back, if any penetration at all will stop the fullback short of the end zone, as they did that time.
Ball is placed inside the 1. Packers looking for the equalizer. Green Bay down by 7. Kuhn and Johnson in the backfield. It's Kuhn. He's stopped. Miami has done it again. 16 seconds left. Jeremiah Bell coming in to make that play. It's 4th down for the Packers.
Trying to hit off the right side here. Kuhn cannot get up in the air because of the penetration of Bell. Bell was so low, so deep into the backfield. Watch number 37, right side of the screen. Nobody blocks him. He takes the legs out from Kuhn and stops him well short. In fact, he lost yardage or lost inches on that play.
Head coach Mike McCarthy, who also calls the play for the Packers, he's got to focus on the 4th down play now. It's 4th and goal from the 1. 16 seconds remaining. Does Miami have one more stop left in them? Rodgers operating out of the gun. Kuhn goes in motion. Miami wants a timeout. And they get it. 16 seconds left. Miami up by 7. And the Packers will have 4th and goal coming up. And also coming up, Subway postgame show. JB and the rest of the crew, scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Interesting formation the Packers came out in with. Spread the field. Rodgers in the shotgun. Nobody else in the backfield. It looked like the Dolphins were prepared to come after him with the all-out blitz. And Tony Sperano from the sideline saw something he didn't like. He raced down the sidelines to call timeout before Rodgers could get the ball snapped.
Here's your ball game. Shotgun formation. 4th and goal. Packers trying to tie this one up. Rodgers will go conventional, and he will do it himself. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Rodgers into the end zone. An extra point away from tying it up.
Was that too easy? There was nobody else in the backfield. Who else is going to run the ball? And did you see Darren College pat his right hip telling Rodgers where to run the ball before the ball was snapped? Rodgers saw that signal, came up under center, took the snap, and strolled into the end zone.
Aaron Rodgers has put Green Bay in position to tie it up. Mason Crosby adds the extra point with 13 seconds remaining here at Lambeau.
Go back to the touchdown. Aaron Rodgers getting communication from his left guard, Darren College. Watch the right-hand signal right there. Rodgers sees that, and he also sees a huge hole right here. The Dolphins are standing up, watching Kuhn go in motion. Rodgers walks through the back of the end zone and into the loving arms of the Lambeau fans. Wow, what a touchdown. Dolphins totally confused, walking around. There's the snap, there's the touchdown.
Now before they know it, Rodgers is in the end zone.
I mean, both Chris Clemens and Jeremiah Bell were trying to communicate something about the formation. Didn't notice Rodgers coming up under center.
On that drive, 2 of 2 on 4th down, including the touchdown run by Rodgers. 12 plays, 69 yards. We are knotted up at 20 apiece with 13 seconds remaining. And Crosby will kick it off. Nolan Carroll is the deep man. And he won't even get a chance to touch it, but this was a short kick. Miami will have the football at the 44-yard line. Lou Polite, one of the up men, with 10 seconds left. And the Dolphins will have a shot here. A quick hitter to the sideline.
What a great catch by Polite. This ball is knuckling at about 70, 80 miles an hour right at him. He hung with it. And this is the target line now. About 20 yards is needed for Carpenter. But only 10 seconds left and no timeouts for Miami. So this ball has to be thrown either all the way to the end zone for a touchdown try or to the sidelines and out of bounds.
10 seconds left. Tied at 20. Henny from the gun. 6 seconds. 5 seconds. Sideline. And a flag down. 2 flags thrown. And bodies down as well.
We may have illegal contact called against the Packers. I don't think this would be called pass interference. The flags were thrown before the ball was thrown.
Marshall and Woodson both slow to get up.
Charles Woodson, the injured Packers player.
The Dolphins had 3 receivers to that side trying to get Hartline along the sidelines. He was lined up inside running an out route. Marshall running deep. Hear what Hockley has to say.
Before the pass was thrown, illegal contact, defense, number 21. It's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down. There was also a timeout charge. It's an excess charge timeout to Green Bay for the injured player. There is no penalty that is carried with that timeout.
This is actually a good play by Woodson because it happened before the ball was thrown. Only 5 yards and they lose 6 seconds off the clock. There's the bunch formation. There's the contact. Marshall and Woodson. Hartline's going to cut to the outside. That's where Henning was going to throw this ball. And there are the flags being thrown. That penalty does not hurt the Packers.
So it turns out to be a smart play for Woodson. Cost them only 5 yards. And look at the time that came off the clock. That's it. Miami didn't even get a playoff.
Well, they took a knee instead of trying the Hail Mary play. Now, I don't understand that at all. You got one more play. Let Henning, who can throw the ball out of the stadium, and he's got Brandon Marshall. Aren't you going to give them a try?
Doesn't make sense.
Play to overtime, I guess.
OT rules. Coin toss decides possession. 1 15-minute period. 2 timeouts per team. No coaches' challenges. Only booth reviews. And, of course, first team to score wins. Last week, Green Bay went to overtime, fell to Washington 16-13. And they have not had a whole lot of success under Mike McCarthy in overtime. 1-5 under McCarthy. Rodgers is 0-4 as a starter in overtime games.
Now, that just tells me that they're due. The odds are in their favor.
That's an optimistic viewpoint, Dan.
Well, I am a rosy type of guy.
You are.
Have an overtime period. 15 minutes. If no one scores in that 15 minutes, the game will end as a tie. The first team to score wins. Each team gets 2 timeouts. Instant replay rules will be determined from the booth. Fourth quarter timing rules will be in effect. Miami, it's your choice. We'll call the toss. Tails. Tails is the call. Tails is the call. It is tails. Miami has won the toss and wishes to receive. Which direction? Just the way you're set. Miami has won the toss and will receive. Good luck, gentlemen.
The call by Carlos Dansby. Henny and the Dolphins will get the football first. Overtime at Lambeau is next. Overtime here in Green Bay. Miami and the Packers tied at 20. How did we get to this point? Miami getting the touchdown. Henny to Devon Bess. Packers able to answer with Rodgers throwing the deep ball to Jennings for the score late in the game. For Miami, Henny to the tight end Fasano. Takes the distance for the Dolphins to go in front by 7. Packers, though, Aaron Rodgers, a sneaky play for the touchdown to tie this one up. Overtime, Packers and Dolphins. Last time that the Green Bay Packers played back-to-back overtime games, you have to go back to October of 1987. They lost the first one, won the second one. They're hoping to do the same here today as the Packers kick it off with Crosby. Nolan Carroll. And tripped up as he crossed the 25-yard line. Maurice Simpkins making the play on special teams, and Chad Henne and the Dolphins offense on the field with the line of scrimmage at the 25.
It'll be interesting to see what Dan Henning has in mind. Remember, start of the second half after the game was tied at halftime, the Dolphins came out in that third quarter and dominated on the ground between the tackles, running right at these depleted defense of the Packers. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not the same type of game plan as we start overtime. And
Charles Woodson, who was banged up at the end of regulation, is out there for Green Bay. On first down, Henne to throw, floats it upstairs, incomplete. Hartline drawing Woodson on that side of the field. It's 2nd and 10.
Well, I'm not so sure that's a good play selection going against Charles Woodson, who just seems to have a knack for making the big play. Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL last year. Not only does he intercept passes, he takes them back for touchdowns.
Miami today, 221 passing yards, 132 yards on the ground, 353 total yardage. Hartline goes in motion on a 2nd and 10. Henne sets up the screen. Ronnie Brown is banged down. He picks up 3. Cullen Jenkins, strong defensive play for the Packers. It's 3rd down coming up for Miami.
Yeah, real good job by Cullen Jenkins and Desmond Bishop. Here's Jenkins right here. He recognizes his screen. Watch his reaction here as he'll get in behind the blockers of Miami. Bishop takes him in front. Jenkins from behind.
3rd and long. Henny looks downfield. Henny throws into double coverage. It's broken up. Brandon Marshall, the intended target. Nick Collins ranging over to make the play for Green Bay. Dolphins forced a punt.
3 straight passes from the Dolphins. You talked about those 132 yards rushing they've had today. That's a poor choice by Henny. Henny throwing this ball into double coverage. He's lucky this wasn't picked off. Packers are going to get great field position when they get the ball.
Brandon Fields to punt. Tramon Williams standing. Back of the 25, backpedals now. Williams trying to go back the other way. Hole opens up. And Williams with a flag down. Makes his move to the 30-yard line. Tyrone Culver, the play on special teams. 50-yard punt and a 7-yard return for the talented cornerback.
They're going to get Corey Hall for an illegal block in the back, so the Packers are not going to get great field position after that punt.
During the return, illegal block in the back by the receiving team, number 35. It's a 10-yard penalty. Green Bay will keep the ball. First down.
And it is Hall. And the Packers now move back 10 yards. Next Sunday, NFL on CBS delivers doubleheader action, highlighted in the first game, the Steelers against the Dolphins. Then in game 2, you'll see the Patriots taking on the Chargers or Oakland at Denver. It all begins live at noon Eastern with the NFL Today. 16-yard line, that's where Green Bay opens up this drive. Packers' first possession of overtime, tied at 20. Running play to Jackson. And Jackson bangs his way to the 20-yard line. 4-yard pickup. Crowder will be given credit for the stop for Miami. And injury there for Miami. It's Carlos Dansby grabbing his left knee. Oh, boy. Dansby has been such a difference maker for the Dolphins. And getting himself upright, Dansby will limp off on his own. Signed the big deal, 5 years, $43 million from Arizona. It's been a tackling machine for the Dolphins. Bobby Carpenter will step in and replace him, at least on this next play.
Well, this is the first game he's been able to play side by side with Channing Crowder. And now if this is a serious injury right there at the very end of the play, you can see him go down as Jackson is tackled at the 20-yard line.
Medical staff will take a look at him. There is Carpenter in his 5th year out of Ohio State, former Dallas Cowboys. 2nd and 6 for the Packers. Crabtree sets up in front of Jackson. Fake the handoff. Rodgers takes a look downfield, didn't like what he saw, and now tries to throw it away as he got out of the pocket, chased by Tony McDaniel. It'll be 3rd down coming up. Through that lefty.
Yeah, this is a desperation attempt by Aaron Rodgers. He's under a lot of pressure. Legal play by Rodgers. Watch the left-handed toss there for the incomplete. Saves the yardage.
Doesn't have quite the same motion, lefty. Mason Crosby trying to get him into a comfort zone. They still have a lot of yards to make up here. 3rd and 6. First trying to convert this 3rd down. Rodgers is dumped.
That's Wake at the bottom of the pile, too. What an effort as Balaga had him blocked. As Rodgers steps up into the pocket, Wake from his knees reaches out and pulls the quarterback down. 3rd sack of the afternoon for Cameron Wake. Just an outstanding effort. Good job by Balaga. He's got him blocked here. But watch here. As he's going down, he reaches out and grabs Rodgers' left leg. Wow.
5th sack overall for the Miami defense. Packers go 3 and out. Mastay the punt. They didn't get all of that one. Devon Best ranging over and brings it in right near midfield. And the Miami Dolphins with a golden opportunity to get out of Lambeau with a victory after the 37-yard punt. Dolphins will have it at the 48-yard line.
Carpenter nailed a 53-yarder at the end of the first half going in the other direction. Wind is not that much of a factor today. If he does have any wind at all, it will be at his back.
First down, Miami. 12:46 to go in OT. Double tight end set, Fasano and Schuler. On a pitch for Ricky Williams. And Williams brought down after the gain of 2 right at midfield. Frank Zombo there defensively. Important game for this Miami squad. Take a look at the schedule. Pittsburgh at home next week. Then on the road at Cincinnati, at Baltimore, with Tennessee, Chicago coming up in November, and at Oakland, a long trip for Sperano and company. Pittsburgh getting a victory today. Chicago came up short. This is a 2nd and 8 now for the Dolphins. Henne, protection is there. And Henne, safety valve to Von Bess, and he ducks out of bounds. He's got a first down. Green Bay territory, right at the marker. The protection has been there all day for Chad Henne and the Dolphins.
Well, he's thrown it 39 times. Look at Bess working on the outside. Just shakes Charles Woodson, makes the catch, gets out of bounds, picks up the first down. But the protection, as you said, Ian, just a solid wall in front of Henne. The time to move in the pocket, find Bess, pick up the first down.
Lex Hilliard is checked into the game in front of Ricky Williams. New set of downs for Miami to work with. They're on the move here in overtime. Handoff straight ahead. It's Williams crossing the 40-yard line. He picks up 4 yards, hit by B.J. Raji of Green Bay, and Carpenter is getting ready.
Yeah, another 10 yards or so will make him real comfortable.
Now, right now, you're looking at a 56-yard field goal.
2nd and 6.
He made one in the first half from 53, his career long, right at the end of the second quarter. 2nd and 6 for the Dolphins. Keep it on the ground. Ricky Williams finding some daylight, and he's got a first down. Miami churning out yards on the ground. That's an 8-yard gain with a powerful run by Williams.
Yeah, it's just good old-fashioned lead football. You talked about Hilliard, 26, the lead blocker here. Richie Incognito comes over on the power. He wipes out the linebacker. And this, again, it's the injuries to this Packer defense that's really showing up now as the Dolphins just overpowering the Packers up front.
Now it's Ronnie Brown along with Lex Hilliard. 1st and 10, just shy of the 30-yard line. Handoff, Brown. He finds an opening and falls forward for a pickup of 4 yards on the play. Charlie Pepra among those there for Green Bay. So right now, if they get no more yards on this drive, it's a 45-yard field goal attempt.
And obviously Carpenter likes the ball on the left hash mark because that's where they ran the ball that time. A lot of kickers have a preference because they'll aim at one upright or the other.
Just to think that this game might come down to special teams, considering everything that happened 13 days ago against New England.
More irony, huh?
Timeout. Packers. 9:46 remaining in overtime. Dan Carpenter, a Pro Bowler last year, and earlier today from 53 yards away. Now keep in mind the circumstances. He had nailed the 43-yarder. Penalty was called. They had to back it up 10 yards, and Carpenter split the uprights on that second attempt.
And that was going in the other direction. With the this direction, you can see this is the set of goalposts he's going to be aiming at, and that wind is very, very favorable for Dan Carpenter.
2nd and 6 coming up for Miami. A timeout taken by the Packers. Strange game. But just the way this one was unfolding, we get late game fireworks from Miami with Fasano, and then Green Bay converts on 2 4th downs, including a 4th and goal from the 1 to get the game-tying touchdown from Aaron Rodgers. 2nd and 6. They're at the Green Bay 26. Handoff. Ronnie Brown bouncing off a tackler and then thrown down by Charles Woodson. Give him a gain of about a half a yard on the play. First man there was Desmond Bishop to slow him down, and looks like they're going to kick the field goal right now. Carpenter takes the field. Green Bay does have one timeout remaining if they're looking to ice Carpenter and the Dolphins.
Dolphins have a great snapper in John Denny.
44-yard field goal attempt for the win in overtime. Carpenter, kick is on the way, and he nails it. Dolphins get the victory in Green Bay, and they do it with special teams in overtime. 23-20. Miami remains undefeated on the road, 3-0. The Packers fall to 3-3 overall. Tony Sperano and company, embarrassing loss 13 days ago, a nightmare against New England. They bounce back here at Lambeau.
Got to give the Dolphins a lot of credit, too. They overcame quite a bit today. That bye week was well used by the Dolphins. Special teams, been a disaster. Special teams today win it for the Dolphins. Perfect snap, good hold by Fields, and Carpenter was spot on.
The consistency of Dan Carpenter, 53-yarder earlier, and he knocks this one through from 44 yards away to get the win. Special teams coach Darren Rizzi, new job for him. He's got to love the result. Miami 23-20 over Green Bay at overtime. Coming up next, the Subway postgame show. For Dan Fouts, the rest of our CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle. So long from Green Bay. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. We'll join James Brown in New York right after this.